Hey guys, welcome to another video in our business cost calculator series. Today we're going to see how to operate a cost calculator for a small manufacturing business. A small manufacturing business is one that's got up to 15 employees. It operates out of a small facility. And in that facility, you buy raw materials and you're converting those to finished goods using machines, manpower, or some combination of the two. The purpose again is to help you cost and price your products in your manufacturing business and to make sure you're making money. So we're dimes2dollars.com and we're here for your small business. Just quickly want to recap as to the reason why we launched the cost calculator series. We, from our experience, see that despite being position right, several small businesses are not really maximizing revenues or profits. We think that a key reason behind this could be that these businesses are not pricing their products right. Our goal here is to help you with this specific issue. And remember, when you price each of your products or services right and sell enough of them, your business as a whole has to make money. All of our cost calculators are going to help you with a few things. Firstly, they're going to help you with modeling your revenues across your products or service offerings. They're going to help you accurately cost your products or services. The calculators are also great with capturing variable and fixed costs in your business and in helping you consider these costs in the pricing for your products or services. And finally, the cost calculators help you understand your P&L, any loss makers or unprofitable product lines, and the break-even sales levels in your business. So this first tab here is our introductory tab. It really talks about how the file is organized and what the tabs in the file are doing. This will get you acclimated with the file and will help you understand its components. So you may want to read this carefully. The next is our copyright and terms and conditions. By using this file, you are agreeing to these terms and conditions. We put these up on our website and we're just repeating these here for emphasis. So read this carefully as well. The next tab is the business details tab. We've included instructions to the side of each of the cells. You'll see that through this cost calculator file, you will only be able to key in details on cells that are shaded blue. These are the only cells that will take inputs from you. The rest of the cells, like for example this one here, are going to be performing calculations based on the inputs you're providing. That is, the file is going to be working for you. On this specific tab, the key thing to include is your customer segment. Just for you to keep this in front of mind, it is always important to remember who you're trying to sell to. Also include the revenue target and the percentage margin you want to achieve per month. The file calculates for you what that means in terms of a cash profit. The next tab on the file is our revenues tab. Starting with this tab is where you're going to be keying in the details. Again, only the light blue cells in the file will take inputs from you. This is the tab that helps you model your revenues. Start at the top and fill out the month and year. These are drop-down lists you can pick from on the file. And then move on to this section here. Go ahead and fill in the details of the products you expect to sell, the prices for these products, and the weekly quantities you typically sell. Now these are the inputs, and the outputs on this tab are the monthly quantities and the sales dollars by product for the month, based on the monthly quantities and the price for the products you filled in this column right here. So these last two columns, the file calculates for you. This next tab here is the most important tab in the entire file. This is where you're going to be costing your products by taking into account all costs. The very purpose of this cost calculator series. You're calculating the cost for each product here. We're only showing you one product on the screen, but we have given you the ability to do this for 50 products on the actual cost calculator Excel file. You're going to key in the names of the raw materials, the costs for each of the raw materials here, and most importantly, don't forget to include the manufacturing time here in this cell. This is going to help you consider all variable costs in your pricing through a concept called quote-unquote absorption. You guys can Google it and see for yourself what that means, but if you don't understand it, don't worry. This file is helping you with it. All you have to do is capture the time that it takes to manufacture your product in this cell, respectively for each and every product. Again, you can do this for up to 50 products on the actual cost calculator file. So let's take an example. Say your business makes mobile phone cases. You would come here and say, so much of plastic, and include the cost of that plastic here per case. So the product one, the name of the product will get captured from the previous tab that we saw automatically. You don't have to do anything here, but then you would come in and say here that the raw material that you're going to need to make a mobile phone case is plastic, and you would say plastic, and the cost of the plastic you think is going to be X dollars. And another raw material is possibly paint or ink. You would include the name of the raw material here and then say per case how much of that costs. And finally here you would key in the manufacturing time in minutes to make one mobile phone case. You may have different product lines. You can cost them separately if you want. And that's because the raw material costs and the time it takes to manufacture may differ across product lines. You get the idea. The output of this tab is going to be the fully costed product cost for each product, which is captured here in this next tab. You will notice that there are no blue shaded cells in this tab, and that's because you're not keying in anything. All this tab is doing is it's capturing the results of this tab in a summary format by product. The next tab captures your business's variable cost per month. In any business, and in manufacturing especially, you're going to have two kinds of costs. Those that vary with the level of activity you have in the business, and those that don't change no matter what the level of activity is. The former are called variable costs, and the latter category are called fixed costs. So here we're going to take a look at your variable costs in the business. A great example of variable costs in your manufacturing business may be direct production wages. That is, let's say you have 10 employees that come in every day and help with the manufacture of the product. If you need to make more, you need to either hire more people or get more hours out of the existing employees by paying them overtime. On the other hand, if the business volumes are running low, you can either cut the number of people you have or reduce their hours. At this stage, you may be wondering why we're not talking about raw materials. Don't raw materials vary with production volumes? Great question. The reason is that we dealt with raw materials extensively in the previous two tabs. Right? So this is all other variable costs per month. So the way to go about this is go through your monthly costs from your accounting system or whatever system you have to capture the costs. Go through all of your costs and identify those costs that vary with the level of activity in your business, and include only those items here on this tab. As you can see, we've given you a few examples here, but you may have more, or you may be able to think of more that you find from your accounting records. If you do, you can include them here. Just go ahead and type them and put the monthly numbers in this column. So that'll capture it here and total it here down below as variable cost per month. Now, the key thing is, don't forget to include the total number of operating days per month and also the number of hours of day operation per day. The reason there is this is what will help convert these costs up here into costs per minute. And it is the cost per minute that we're going to use in the product costing tab that we just saw to, again, quote unquote, absorb the variable costs by product. Again, if this is too complex, don't worry about it. Again, the file is doing this for you. All you have to do is worry about the cells shaded blue and input. So these are monthly costs that get aggregated here. Include the number of operating days per month in your facility and include the number of hours per day in your facility. So if you're running multiple shifts, the way to do it is to include the total number of hours across all those shifts per day, and then so that you will get these costs calculated as cost per minute down below here. This next tab here is very similar to the one we saw. This deals with fixed costs. As we already saw, fixed costs are those that don't change with the level of activity in the business. A great example here is rent for your facility if you're leasing it. The landlord doesn't really charge you less rent if you're having a slow month. Another great example is salaries. Say, for example, for an office manager, that's not going to change with production volumes. You may be having a slow month, but you still need to pay salaries to your employees. So these are fixed costs. Again, we've given you a few examples. If you have more, include them here, add the monthly amounts here, and you don't really need to worry about anything else on this tab. Alright guys, I know this has been a lot of information. So before we go into this last tab, it would be good to recap what we've seen so far. Alright guys, I know this has been a lot of information. So before we go into this last tab, let's quickly recap what we've seen so far. We started out by stating what revenues and profits we want to target. We then modeled out our monthly revenues. After that, we went and costed out our products by capturing raw material costs and the time to manufacture by product. And finally, we included the variable and fixed costs in your business individually in those two tabs. Okay, now this last tab is going to help bring it all together for you. Here you'll be able to see the results of your business. If you sold the quantities you said you will sell, and you've priced your products right after considering all your costs. The beauty of this cost calculator file is that we've built checks and balances that alert you at every stage of your pricing and costing journey, not just on how you're doing with each individual product, but also generally how you're doing versus your profit targets you set for yourself. One additional cool feature of the cost calculator file is that it'll tell you that given your fixed and variable cost structure in your business, what your break-even level of sales should be. That is, beyond what minimum level of sales you should expect to start making money in your business. So, that's it guys. Download the file and play around with it. We've included instructions in the file that we hope will help you. Overall, we think with the help of this file, you should be able to make some really smart decisions in your small business. Let us know if you have any questions, and good luck.